So the core way that your website is going to have sweeping aesthetic changes and just completely meld into something that you're proud to call your own is mostly going to be themes. If you're not having someone build it out for you, you're going to use some sort of theme or a template to really do the majority of the building for you. And it's what most people would recommend. There's really no good reason to even attempt to just design something completely from scratch with WordPress when there's so many options out there. And as I talk about it more, you'll see more and more about, what I'm talking about. And it's not to say that these other agencies or consultants will be doing this anyway. It's not like they're going to be find a theme or find an existing theme and just like kind of making some tweaks and just calling it a day and saying this is unique. A lot of them use more what are called like frameworks, where it's something like, there's a popular one called Impreza, Genesis, maybe one other. And it's kind of like a wireframe, skeleton framework, however you want to call it. And it keeps things kind of tight and in elements, but then everything on top of it is customized. So what we're doing is going beyond that, and we're taking like framework, skeleton, and we're already putting things on top of it. We're probably going to use like a preloaded or a demo associated with a theme. And then from there, we're going to make tweaks. So the first kinds of themes are, WordPress actually includes a bunch of themes that you can use. So as I mentioned, there's always going to be the default one. It goes way back to, I think, to 2014. It's been going on for a long time, but you can see these different themes are what really change immediately the aesthetic of your website and sometimes the functionality. So looking at our website right now, we can see that this is the 2020 theme. This is how our homepage looks. If we click on some pages, there's going to be some templates, but for the most part, not really. Here you can see here, there's a sample page. Here's the sample page. And then if we were to be like, let's look at 2019, you can hit that. That one's already installed. And then voila, you have a different website. Oh, now you have this going on. And then you have a sample page that you can't see on this one. So you can do the 2017 and then refresh. Now we have another template. I like how speedy WP Engine is. That's pretty cool. So you can kind of see how themes work. It's just like, the aesthetic on top completely changes spectrum, changes the width, it changes the fonts, it changes the colors, it changes how like everything is designed and what kind of elements you're going to use. It changes things on mobile devices. So if you want to do it on mobile, we can take a look here. And that's what it looks like on mobile for the most part. We do activate the other one, and boom, this is what it looks like on mobile. So what you can do is that this is kind of connected to, I guess you could say, a database of a lot of included or free WordPress themes, thanks to wordpress.org. And one thing you can do is you can go to add new, and you can see all sorts of websites that actually look pretty decent already. So you can go through and it's just like, you just install them and then you'll activate them. And sometimes they'll have maybe like limited functionality. Most of them are frankly like what you see is like what you're going to get. There's some that aren't like, they're not like free trials or anything. It's not like you're going to install it and 2 weeks later it'll go down because you don't pay a monthly fee. A lot of them are just really, they're just done. You could say it's a passion projects. You can say it's maybe another iteration of something that existed. Sometimes they encourage you to use certain plugins to enable all the functionality of the theme. Sometimes those plugins cost money. So there's not really like any like caveats or anything like, there's not really a situation where there's like strings attached, where it's just like, there's some ulterior motive. I mean, it's really going to be kind of what you see here. So even if you do, install this one, it's just a random one and it looks pretty decent, just from this tiny excerpt here. All I did was click install and activate. And now if I go here, you can see what we're working with already. It's like, hey, this is already a little bit of a framework of an actual website. We can actually go in a direction where I can work with this. If we click here and we go to the back end, we can see if this particular theme needs actual additional plugins. And plugins, you'll learn this very quickly. Plugins are basically installations of things that you use to get additional functionality on your website. So if you go to like plugins, you're going to see that there's something that helps for classic editing, because the editor in WordPress nowadays is a lot more different than it used to be. So the editor now, when you add content, is not what a lot of people want to see. It might look intuitive to some people. It's very anti-intuitive or not intuitive to a lot of other people. So what used to be before is actually, gosh, it doesn't ask you this every single time. What actually used to be before looked more like, and you'll probably recognize this, but it used to be more like this right here. So some people install a plugin just to get their old school editor back. So yeah, mess around with themes, see what's out there. You can list it by popular, latest, favorites. And then one thing you can even do is you can type in maybe keywords like law. And it's like, oh, here's a law website template. Some of these look pretty good. And they're free. That's the best part, of course. So let's activate this. And right now, it's not exactly what I had in mind, but it's something we work with. So these are kind of free options. You'll see how that works. And then in the next video, I'll actually talk about the paid options for a theme, where you can buy a theme for $50 or $60, but it'll take care of a lot more that's going on here.